Yes, sir. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I, Ashwini Jindal, welcome you all on behalf of Direct Tax Committee of ICI. Firstly, I want to thank the chairman, vice chairman, and the dedicated team of ICAI and the dedicated team of the ICI and the committee for giving us this valuable draft technical guide quickly. We hope to have the final version of technical guide available very soon. Our last online meeting went really well. We talked about each part of Form 10B very carefully, and lot of you joined in and were excited about it. Because of your great response, our leaders decided to plan another meeting just for answering all the questions you had about Form 10B. Today's meeting is going to be a long and smart discussion as we look closely at all the important parts of this document Form 10B as well as 10BB. We are lucky to have 4 expert panelists with us, and they will answer questions about each part of the Form 10B one by one. It is a great chance for all of us to learn a lot about this topic. Thank you for joining us in this efforts to improve our professional expertise and knowledge in the field of direct taxes. I did like to extend a warm welcome to CA Sanjay Agarwal ji, Chairman of the Direct Tax Committee, and CA Piyush S. Chajad ji, Vice Chairman of the Direct Tax Committee. I also welcome our expert panelists, CA Sanjay Agarwal ji, obviously, CA Rajesh Mehta ji, CA Vipin Batavia ji, and CA Devan V. Shah ji. CA Sanjay Agarwal ji. Now I am duty bound to introduce each of the panelists as well as the expert to the members for the benefit of all. First of all, I am introducing CA Sanjay Agarwal ji. CA Sanjay Agarwal ji was elected to the council in the year 2010 and then re-elected in 13, 16 and 22. During this time, he had the chance to serve on many different committees of the ICI as chairman, vice chairman, and as a member. Sanjay Agarwal ji is a chartered accountant from Delhi with more than 36 years of experience. He is known for his knowledge, experience, foresight, and excellence in the profession. His impressive track record demonstrates his expertise in various roles at the regional as well as council level. He is also a well-regarded speaker who has participated in seminars and conferences across the country discussing important professional topics for the members at large. Now I am introducing our Vice Chairman, CA Piyush Chajad ji. He is a chartered accountant who has been practicing for 20 years. He is a son of CA SP Chajad ji, who was a respected former president of ICI. Piyush ji is a senior partner at Messrs. Chajad and Joshi, where he focused on handling cases related to both direct and indirect taxes, as well as arbitration proceedings. He often speaks on various topics related to direct taxes and is also a member of external committee of RBI's Asset Restructuring Committee. Additionally, he has made significant contribution to the WIRC publication on the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. Now it's turn to introduce our expert panelist. First, I am introducing CA Rajesh Mehta ji. He is a qualified chartered accountant with expertise in direct taxes. He has been practicing as a professional since 1996 in Indore. In 2023, he holds the position of Secretary General at the All India Federation of Tax Practitioners. Shri Rajesh ji is well known for his knowledge in direct tax matters and regularly gives lectures on various topics of such as TDS, TCS, capital gain, search seizure, penalties, HUF, religious and charitable trusts, tax audits, union budget, etc. He shares his insight at various branches of ICI, Tax Bar Associations, AIFTP, Business and Trade Association, as well as online platforms. His expertise in income tax provisions is often published in tax newsletters, magazines, and online tax forums. Shri Rajesh Mehta ji has received award for his academic excellence and recognition for his skill in allocation and debate competition with honors presented by the then Chief Minister of Rajasthan. He has also held various leadership positions with AIFTP as Vice Chairman, Chairman, Secretary, etc. Now, I am introducing another expert, panelist CA Bipin Batavia ji, who became chartered accountant in 1985, runs his own practice called Bipin Batavia and Company. His main area of expertise includes dealing with direct taxes, conducting audits, and handling the establishment and tax matters of charitable trusts especially. He also knows a lot about charitable trusts and NGOs. He has a history of talking on leadership roles like being the president of Chamber of Tax Consultant in 2003-4. He has been in charge of different committees like the General Committee of CTC for 3 years. He is actively involved with committees of BCAs, Bombay Chartered Accountant Society, and WIRC. And he is even co-author of a book about charitable trusts published by Chamber of Tax Consultants. Shri Bipanji shares his knowledge by giving talk at professional organizations, trade groups, and other platforms, especially when it comes to setting up charitable trusts. Besides, he has written articles for various professional magazines and newspapers, mostly about topics related to charitable trusts. Now, I am introducing our another expert panelist, CA Devan B. Shah ji. He is a partner at Messrs. Bipin and Shah and Company, a firm founded by CA Bipin and Shah ji, has more than 50 years of experience in dealing with charitable trust matters. Devanji, also a chartered accountant, has 25 years of experience in this field. He specialized in taxes and other issues related to charitable trusts and NGOs. Devanji work covers various areas such as audit, income tax, GST, and more, with a strong focus on charitable trusts. He handles both direct and indirect tax matters for charitable trusts. Besides this, being a chartered accountant, he has completed certificate course in business consultation studies from JVIMS and holds certificate in ISA from ICI and forensic audit. Shri Devanji is a frequent speaker at various seminars organized by ICI, CTC, BCA, WIRC, and has written articles on charitable trusts for various magazines. Now, I invite young and dynamic Vice Chairman of the committee, CA Piyush Chhajjar ji, for welcome and opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Ashwani ji, for the wonderful introduction of all the panelists and Sanjay Agarwal ji, my chairman of Direct Tax Committee, Central Council member, senior member. Panelists today, Rajesh Mehta ji, including Sanjay Agarwal ji, obviously, Deven Shah ji, Bipin Batavia ji, moderator Ashwani Jindal ji. Very good evening to all the participants. First of all, I would like to apologize because we started the seminar 7 minutes delay because there were some technical issues. And I know certain people had joined certain Zoom link, which was actually for the panelists. And we could not accommodate that, and therefore we had to again create a new Zoom link. So in that process, we got it delayed by 7 to 8 minutes. Our apology for that. This seminar is in continuation of 20th of September seminar, which you know it's the same panel headed by Sanjay Agarwal ji, our chairman, Direct Tax Committee, and the other honorable panelists. The idea behind this seminar was because there were a lot of questions which you could not be answered at particular date. We have tried to compile that also. And whatever further questions have come, we'll try the panelists will try to answer those questions to best of their ability. And I'm sure a lot of clarity would be achieved at the end of the day. That's an idea behind it. I would like to also throw certain light on technical guide because a lot of messages keeps on coming. And I know everybody is waiting for a technical guide to be issued by the institute in regard to the audit report to be certified for 10B and 10BB. There were a lot of issues. That technical guide, if you may recollect, had been circulated amongst the membership at the large. Generally, technical guide do not require an exposure draft. But this has been a very important subject and a lot of issues there, a lot of double views were there in the membership. So we thought it appropriate. It was the chairman's decision, Sanjay Agarwalji's, that will circulate amongst the members and let us take those views of the members. Wherever we could get the members' view, we have tried to incorporate that. And I would like to mention here very much importantly the role of our chairman, sir, who has line by line last 1 month is working upon this technical guide individually. Generally, the chairman would not do that, but the chairman has not even left a single word. He is himself said on a whole day since last 10 to 12 days in if you more than 10 to 12 days in the last month, full days, 8 hours, 10 hours is sitting himself as if he is doing it his personal publication, but he has done for the benefit. And I believe there is a council meeting coming up on 9th and 10th of this particular month, and there will be a bill to issue the final technical guide for the benefit of the members. As a matter which generally chairman also speaks, but the chairman is a panelist, so I'm playing his role of giving a welcoming address. Generally, the views which will be presented today, the questions which will be answered are not the institute's views. Those are the views would be of the panelists. We would like to clarify that. I would request you please also refer to the technical guide when it comes. That will be, and that would be containing institute views to that extent, and please do follow to that. If there is no clarity or if there is some missing point in technical guide, you may have to use a professional skepticism, or you may have to look into the views given by the panelists today also. So I request now, because we are running short, we are already late by 7 to 8 minutes. I'll end my welcome speech. I'll again join in my concluding remarks. Thank you very much, and my special thanks to this panelists who had acceded at the one request to continue that session. So it's the same panel because they are aware of what has been already covered, what are the questions which were covered. They have been discussing what would be discussed today since last 2 days. The panel is already working behind the scenes also, for delivering this today and for helping the members that they get benefited about it. So thank you very much, Ashwani. I would request you to please kindly take this forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite C.A. Sanjay Agarwalji, Chairman, Directors Committee, for the further proceedings, as well as to add something.
The Vice Chairman has already briefed. I only want to once again apologize for the technical glitch, but we were there since 4 o'clock, and when we realized that a lot of panelist link have been circulated among the member at large and the bandwidth was not there. Friends, let me thank each and everyone, those who have joined this, and as of now, more than 5,000 members are there with us in this public webinar which we have hosted. Just giving you the background, the technical guide which we have already circulated in draft manner, no substantial changes except for the issues which have been referred to us, which we have opened for 2 days, then we have extended for another 7 days. We have captured those questions and we have tried to answer wherever it is possible. Each and every issue which has been raised to us, we have divided into 3 parts. One part which we have been able to incorporate in our technical guide, which will be in your hand either on 9th or 10th, depending upon the situation in the council meeting. We are going to release this in the council meeting, the final printed copy. Even after receiving the 2 days, any issue which is possible, we'll try to see whether we'll be able to cover that also. No, otherwise this is final and no requirement of any change. The second is this, the issues which are there in form 10B or 10BB, which we have not been able to capture in our guidance note, because there are certain things which we have to bring to the knowledge of the board. We have compiled those issues and we are in the final stages. On Monday, most likely, we are going to send it after the president's approval to the board, the issues which we found and we have received from the expert members or the faculties, those who are sitting today. Then there are issues which may require an answer or clarification in the law itself, which will be dealt by either way of some clarification or circular, or which will be dealt in next year when the Finance Act will come. So we have tried to compile all those issues. There are around 40-50 issues which we have compiled with the help of each one of you, the viewers. Without your contribution, we would not have been able to lay hand on so many issues. So today, the our faculty, Shri Rajesh Mehta, who have taken a lot of efforts in this drafting also, will deal certain questions which are there, and our moderator, Mr. Ashwani Jindal, will read the question and will try to put in your this sharing also, so that you can read that question also, the clause, relevant clause with that question also. Then after Rajesh Mehta ji, if I am supposed to see that within 25 minutes from right now, you will please finish this. Then we have Vipin Batavia ji. Vipin Batavia ji have been also allocated various questions. I know there is a difficult task with Vipin Bhai, because the most difficult questions are being given to him, being the most senior. So this is the privilege we have taken. Then our young and dynamic, the last one, Nitin Bhai will take the rest of the questions, and then we'll see that today's our any balance questions which are coming today, if we are not in a position to answer even today all the issues, we have tried, office has taken a lot of time in combining various questions. There were around 250 questions which have been divided into around 115 or so. So we'll try to have one more webinar somewhere near next week, after you get the copy of the technical guide, that we'll try to see if it is possible, and the availability of the time with the panelist, that what is the situation. Because as a matter of permission to us, the council has given permission to have 2 webinar only, the rest we can do seminar. So physical seminar will be able to do it in various parts, and these faculties will be available for your in physical seminar. But webinar, we'll see if it is required. The questions are more and they are not being answered in either of our webinar, the last one or this one. So we will try to cover this. With this, I may wish to give back to Ashwani ji to start with Rajesh Mehta ji, so that we can convene the technical session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I am facing some issue to share my screen. Kindly, I request the office to kindly share the screen. I will read the questions from another screen. Kindly share the screen, sir. First, as directed by the chairman, sir, I am putting the question related to Shri Rajesh Mehta ji, our expert panelist. Sir, the question to be covered by Rajesh Mehta ji is more or less related to clause number 31 mainly, and 39 as well as 23 also. First question, sir, is related to whether 50 lakh paid by school on 30th March 23 to school bus supplier, check honored by banks, and bus was delivered to school on 15th April 23. Now bank balance is not available for section 11 subclause 5. There is a shortfall of application of income for 85% calculation. How to apply for extension of 1 year, as actually purchase will of bus is in April 23. No asset representing bank balance available on 31st March 23. Will this advance payment for purchase of bus will be considered as application of income for the financial year 22-23? Otherwise, income tax will be payable for the assessment year 23-4. In my opinion, this advance payment for purchase of bus should be considered as application of income. Otherwise, school does not have investment for 11.5. Will income tax liability on school, whereas school had made advance payment on 30th March. If school has made advance payment on 2nd April, then will not be any problem for purchase of bus. Advance payment is always made to bus supplier. Please advise.
Yes.
It is related to clause 31, sir.
There will not be any tax liability in such a case. Any advance payment made for purchase of any asset is treated as an application of income. There is a judgment of ITAT Delhi bench. In the case of Indraprasth Cancer Society and Research Center, the judgment is of the year 2019. And there is one more judgment of ITAT Delhi of Netrip Education Society. In both these judgments, they have held that any amount paid for purchase of any asset is treated as an application of income. So there will not be any tax liability, and there will not be any requirement of further investment as specified under section 11 subsection 5 of the Act. So Ashwini, next query.
Just a minute, sir.
Yes. Do you have?
Office is requested to kindly share the screen, please. Sir, second question is, in light of the extension of due date for filing 10B, whether the due date for filing form 9A/10 also are automatically extended. It is also related to clause 31, sir.
Yes. So CBDT has extended the due dates of form 10B and 10BB by circular number 16/2023 on the 18th September 2023, by which the due date has been extended to 31st October for form 10B and 10BB. And similarly, the due date of filing of ITR 7 has been extended to 30th November 2023. So by default, the due date for form number 9A and form 10 has also been extended up to 30th November 2023.
Thank you, sir. I hope everyone is enlightened with the answers. Sir, third question is, certain NGO is a routine capital item purchases through income and expenditure account. According to these NGOs, income and expenditures is actually income application statement, and capex is part of income application. Please guide us over the correct treatment.
So if any of, however, in the case of section 11-12, any of the capital asset purchased is also treated as an application of income. There is no distinction between revenue and capital under section 1023C or section 11-12. But and ICI guidance note also says that there is accounting standard. ICI has issued a technical guide on NPO accounting. So they have also told that accounting standards are not applicable to the charitable and religious trust if they are not carrying out any business activity. However, they have advised that the accounting standards should be followed to maintain the consistency and to present the good condition and correct position of the accounts. So if fixed asset is purchased, I would advise that you should show it as an asset. You should not debit it to the income and expenditure account. However, if you are doing so, it is not against the income tax, because income tax only provides the computation of income, not specify any system of maintenance of accounts. So it is my advice that you should maintain it as a fixed asset and you should not debit it to the income and expenditure account.
Sir, fourth question, it is also related to clause 31. If previously form 9A has been filed, how should that be reflected in form 10B?
So I think from this question, he want to know that if I have filed form number 9A in any previous year, preceding previous year, then if we have applied that amount during that year, how it will be reflected. So there is a clause 37 in the form number 10B, in which you have to fill the information, source of investment, source of expenditure, source of application of income from this. So out of form 9A, if you have made any application, then clause 37B has to be filled up. And along with this, schedule DI is also there in the form number 10B, in which you have to mention that the detail of form number 9A of applied or exercised during any preceding previous year has to be mentioned in schedule DI. So from there, you can you will have to show all information of earlier 9A and application out of that 9A during the current year.
Sir, next question is, if corpus is utilized for main object of trust to give education loan to students, how to show the loan appearing in balance sheet while writing details of investment under section 11.5? It is also related to clause 31, sir.
Yes, sir. If corpus is utilized for main object of the trust to give education loan to the students, how to show the loan appearing in the balance sheet? So this amount will be treated as a loans and advances. This is not an investment under section 11 subsection 5 because this amount has been applied. However, it will not be treated as an application of income during the current year. So this is only the loans and advances.
Thank you, sir.
Rajesh Mehta ji,
Yes, sir.
I would like to add something more here.
Yes, sir.
Since the charitable trust provisions now had distinguished between a corpus which is prior to 31st March 21 and the corpus which is after 31st March 21. Please throw light on how to treat that portion, if it is
Yes,
after 31st March or before 31st March.
Yes, yes, sir. So one important thing in this also, as Sanjay Agarwal sir has rightly pointed out, that first of all, if say for example that corpus was pertaining to the period before 1st April 2021, if we have given this amount as an education loan to the students, then this amount will not be treated as an application of income, even if that amount has been invested or deposited back, as per the explanation 4 or explanation as 4 to the section 11 subsection 1 or as per section 1023C. But if that amount corpus has been received on or after 1st April 2021, then such amount, applied amount, will be treated as an application of income only when this amount is deposited back or invested in the modes specified under section 11 subsection 5 of the Act. Further, any education loan given to students is treated as an application of income. There is a CBDT circular of 24th January 1973, which has been followed in various judgments, that any education loan given to students will be treated as an application of income. And when any loan is received back from such students, that received back will be treated as an income. However, there will not be any tax impact on the institution, because as and when the received back is treated as an income, it is again invested in the 11.5 modes, then there will not be tax liability on the institution. Further, one important thing is here. Section 11(1)(d) of the Act has been amended with effect from 1st April 2022 by the Finance Act 2021. Section 11(1)(d) says that any amount received towards corpus of the trust should be invested or deposited in the modes specified under section 11 subsection 5 of the Act. So here we have given the education loan to the students out of that corpus. So this does not, giving education loan to the students does not qualify for section 11(1)(d) because we have not made any investment in the modes specified under 11.5. So I have received many queries that since we have not invested in the modes 11.5, so our income will be taxable under section 11 or section 12. So this is very tremendous situation. because this amount will be treated as an application of income only when the amount is deposited back. During the current year, since you have given advance to the students which is not qualifying under 11.5, this may become taxable in view of the provisions of section 11(1)(d) of the Act. So we should take very much care while utilizing the corpus fund. Utilization of corpus fund is also against the various civil law, because anyone has given you the corpus for a specific purpose. If you are utilizing that corpus for any purpose other than the specific purpose, that is also violation of the other civil laws also. So in the income tax law also, if you have given the education loan to the student, I am afraid that during the current year, if you have received corpus, you have given education loan, this may become taxable because you have not invested in 11.5. Whenever in future you will receive it, you will deposit in 11.5, then again you will get exemption. But current year you may get tax liability. We will give representation to CBDT under leadership of Sanjay Agarwal sir, DTC, PUSG, and then we will get again clarification from CBDT on this 11(1)(d) issue. So this is
Any
the
faculty want to add something more? At Mumbai, you want to, Devin, if you want to add something more? Okay. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, if a charitable trust submit Form 9 for total accrued interest on term deposit, also for TDS on accrued interest shown as expenditure of income, what will be the position, sir?
Yes, sir. So in this question, I think question is not detailed, but I could understand that, say for example, the accrued interest of rupees 1,50,000 from the bank, on which TDS has been deducted of rupees 15,000. So they have told that we have furnished the form number 9A for the 1,50,000, whereas only the amount received due to be received is rupees only 1,35,000. So the form number 9A has to be furnished only for the amount which has not been received. So form 9A should have been furnished for rupees 1,35,000 only, and TDS of rupees 15,000 is treated as an application of income. There are various judgments which say that any TDS deducted is treated as an application of income for the purpose of taxation of trust and institution. Whenever the TDS is received back, it will be treated as an income of the trust in which it is, in the year in which it is received back.
Thank you, sir.
Next, please.
Sir, next question is whether overdraft taken against fixed deposit will be considered as loan fund?
Yes, sir. Even if any overdraft or any loan has been taken against the fixed deposit, that loan will be treated as a loan fund. And if any amount has been applied out of this loan, it will not be treated as an application of income. But whenever in future that loan has been repaid, in that year, that repayment will be treated as an application of income.
Thank you, sir. The trust having 12A registration donate fund to another similar trust. Is it necessary to upload Form 10BD for this donation? Because its normal income is already fully exempt under Section 11. Form 10BE for such trust will be of no use.
In my opinion,
this is the question related to clause 23.
Yes, in my opinion, we are not to look at that the income of donor is taxable under which section. If donor has given his identity, his PAN number, we should certainly include his name or PAN number in the form number 10BD.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is treatment of prepaid expenses and notional income. It is also related to clause 31, sir.
Sir, so any of the prepaid expenses is also treated as an application of income. So we are doing generally in the normal accounting, normal business transaction, prepaid expenses are not treated as an expenditure during the current year. But in the case of the section 11 and 12, prepaid expenses are also treated as an application of income, because explanation to section 11 says that any amount will be treated as an application of income whenever the actual payment has been made. So as per actual payment has already been made, so it is treated as an application of income. Another thing, they have asked for notional income. if any notional income has been included in the income expenditure account, that notional income is not taxable in the section 11 and 12 because that is not a real income. Under section 11, 12, real income is only taxable.
Sir, next question is trust registered under 12A having no ATG registration liable to give its donation detail in form 10B, sorry.
So they have mentioned here 10B. So I think if they were asking this detail for 10BD, 10BD is not required if it is not registered under 10BD. And if they are asking for this information relating to 10B, then as per clause 23, it is required to be given. Even if it is not registered under ATG, clause 23 of the 10B requires to include this donation.
Sir, next question is, if total donation is 50 lakh and 10BD submitted for 30 lakh for non-availability of, I think, ID, then rupees 20 lakh is taxable or not? It is also related to clause 23, sir.
Yes. So I think the person who has asked the query, they are thinking that for the remaining 20 lakh, they do not have the IDs or they do not have the PAN number. So whether this 20 lakh will be taxable under section 115 BBC, because ATG is available only to the charitable trust and institution or institution covered under ATG 2B of the Act. Section 115 BBC says that if any of the institution or trust which is exclusively for charitable purposes, if they receive any anonymous donation for which they do not have name and address, PAN number is not required, but if they do not have name and address of the donor, then such donation will be treated as anonymous donation. In that case, any donation received by charitable institution will be liable for tax at the rate of 30% under section 115 BBC. But there is exclusion. If such an anonymous donation is received by any other religious trust, that would not have been taxable for religious purposes. Or if there is any institution which is carrying out religious as well as charitable activity, then any donation received by such institution not towards the medical and education purposes will also be out of purview of the 115 BBC. Otherwise, any, say for example, any charitable institution which is exclusively carrying out yoga or exclusively carrying out any relief to the poor, they receive any anonymous donation, that will become liable for tax under 115 BBC, subject to some specified % of donation is exempt or 1 lakh, whichever is higher. Over and above this amount will be taxable. So this 20 lakh will not be taxable. In my opinion, I am assuming that they are having name and address of the donors.
Any input from other faculties on this question or any other question? Yeah.
Yes, sir, please.
Vipin bhai, you want
Yeah.
to say something?
Yeah. I wanted to say earlier, but since you have given another opportunity, I am covering that corpus 11(1)D and not invested in that. I have a simple suggestion to the members, as far as if it is possible. If you want to invest, or if then only you take corpus donations, and if you want to spend it for loan or any object of the trust, then take the general donation. By applying this formula, you can avoid this complication of corpus and investment and replenishment and all those new provisions. As far as possible, if can be done or managed, it will be a good suggestion for the members to adopt it.
Vipin bhai, I want to add, actually,
yes,
the donation is the choice of the donor. So,
correct.
Yes.
So far as the institution is concerned, they do not have any choice, and the member cannot make any such thing so far as the donation is concerned. This is the pure choice of the donor. I want to add from ICI side. Ashwani ji, you can move.
Thank you, sir.
Correct, but as far as possible, that's what I said.
Yes. So Ashwani ji, next.
Sir, can trust public institution exercise the option under clause 2 of the explanation to section 11(1) every year by filing form 9A?
Yes, form 9A can be filed every year.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, clause 31, subclause 13 of 10B, where is it given in the act that such donations given are disallowed? For example, would it cover donation given to poor patients as medical relief related to clause 31, sir, of the form?
Yes. Clause 31, Roman 13 requires that any donation to any person will be disallowable. So under that clause is creating some confusion. But any donation to any person out of the income of the current year is never disallowable if it is towards the objects of the trust. But I think this clause has been inserted here 31 Roman 13 to cover the 80G clause 2B cases. Section 80G subsection 2 clause B is applicable to any donation received by any trust which is of the specific importance, which is notified by the government, for which they have received any donation for the purpose of repairs and maintenance of the temple, mosque, gurudwara, church, etc. And if they have received excess donation which could not be spent during the year, they are given an option that they can voluntarily transfer this donation to the corpus fund. And they have imposed a condition that such corpus should be spent only for the repair and maintenance and should not be given as a donation to any other in the subsequent year. So such donation, I think for to cover such donation, this clause is there. Otherwise, normal, they have given here that any donation given to the poor patient. So such donation will not be mentioned here because it is, if it is towards objects of the trust, it is not disallowable. So not required to mention here.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is how the organization bifurcate electronic and other than electronic mode of utilization in religious relief for poor, education, health, etc. It is
Yes,
also related to clause 31, sir.
Yes. Clause 31, 1B requires that details spent for the objects of the trust under various heads: religious, medical, relief to poor, yoga, advancement of any other object of general public utility, etc. So all the expenses have to be bifurcated under these objects as well as through electronic mode or through other than electronic mode. So first of all, many of the person are asking that if we are giving any salary, we are doing any other expenditure which is not directly religious activity, whether that amount will be covered under religious? Yes. Any of the expenses which have been incurred towards religious purposes, whether it is an administrative expenses, whether it is directly towards the objects of the trust, that will be covered under religious. If any of the expenses have been made towards the education purposes, say any interest on bus loan has been paid by educational institution, any salary has been paid to the teachers, or for the any capital expenditure has been made for purchase of furniture by school, that will be covered under education. That will not be covered under the residuary clause, because when as per their rule 17AA specifies that you are required to maintain all the expense for all the expenses objects for which that expenses has been made. Even if you are paying interest to the bank for bus loan taken by educational institution, you have to mention that this amount is for the education purpose. Object has to be mentioned as per rule 17AA. Then there will be sub-object that this is interest. So you have to bifurcate all expenses under this category and electronic and other than electronic. Someone maybe think that if I will mention any amount under the column other than electronic, then it will be disallowable. No, this amount will not become disallowable because other than electronic mode covers any journal entry, any amount which is not more than 10,000 rupees, say 8,000 rupees has been paid. So this amount will not be disallowable, but the government wants that how much expenditure are being done by such institution in electronic mode and how much by other mode. So this information we are compulsorily required to give.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Ashwini ji, I want to add one more thing here. In fact, if you will see today, the institutions which are not very old, but which are being given permission in last few years, the multiplicity of various objects are not there. Either they are given for education or they are given as a general, or if they are only for yoga, so they are given the permission for that object only. So if they are doing anything else, then it is to be seen whether they are doing that expenditure for the object, which is an application which will not be allowable to them. So please be careful that these are various heads which are given, but you need to see the object of the trust for which the trust have been given the exemption also. And so far as the next point, bifurcation, as very rightly has been said by the panelists, that it is not only for the purpose of knowing the extent on which it is being shown, but application of the other than your electronic will have to be very carefully examined, that how much out of that will be applied and how much will not be applied. That is a question. In this regard, there is a question which has been raised to us. If the amount has been earlier paid and later on it is adjusted through the book entry, which was paid earlier in the last year, or there are certain other things which are being disallowed in the other clauses as payable as on 31st March, but later on it is paid, and that amount is not to be treated as an application in above clauses, and then why it will be reported here. So for that we are seized of the matter. We are trying to frame a question for that, which we are going to refer to the board. So with this, please continue.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, total income is of rupees 100, actual utilization is of rupees 95, allowed utilization is rupees 90, because as repayment of loan rupees 5 not allowed before 1st April 2021. So accumulated amount not exceeding 15% of the income is rupees 5, not rupees 10, actual amount. What in clause 24 of form 10BB?
Yes, sir. So here, because the rupees out of rupees 100, 90 rupees has been 95 rupees has been spent, but rupees 5 is not allowable. So only 5 rupees can be accumulated for future, and rupees 5 which is out of the loan which was before period 1 April 2021. So that 5 is also be included. So that rupees only 10 can be accumulated for future.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is, in clause 31, subclause 2 of form 10B, where we need to give details of application resulting in payment in excess of 50 lakh during the previous year to any person, do we have to mention the amount of application inclusive of GST or exclusive of GST? This is because TDS is deducted only on the taxable value and not on the invoice value. It is also related to clause 31, sir.
Yes, sir. So if the trust is registered under GST, then trust is certainly maintaining the GST collected and GST payment separately. In that case, here the amount is to be shown exclusive of GST. If the trust or institution is not registered under GST, then amount is to be shown inclusive of GST.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, and trust running a school made a payment in foreign country for subscription of journal / magazines for its library. Board approval is required in that case, sir?
No, for the purpose of section 11(1)(c), CBDT approval is required only when the amount is applied outside India. We have only made the payment outside India, but we have benefited in India because we are only subscribing the journal. Journal is being benefited in India. So 11(1)(c) will not be applicable. CBDT approval is not required here.
Thank you, sir.
I want to add here that this issue is also covered by us. There is a clear-cut difference between an application and spending. The intent of the law is to prohibit the application outside India, not the spending outside India, but benefit which is received in India. This is a question for which we are seeking the clarification. So the author's view may not be treated as issued view. I wanted to repeat once again. Ashwani ji, we have another 5 minutes for Rajesh Mehta ji, and I know we are just struggling with the time. Viewers, please do not worry. We may continue for another 15-20 minutes for the continuation of the at least old questions. So Rajesh Mehta ji may come back after the other faculties have given the answers. So, and I'm thankful once again for viewers. We have been raised more than 300 questions as of now, which are, if they are not covered by the existing questions, we'll try to see this. If they are already answered, then we'll not cover. Otherwise, for the next webinar, if it is possible, we'll cover in that. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is it possible to declare loss for a charitable trust if they had insufficient for fund for application and they had borrowed funds?
Any of the charitable or religious trust nowadays cannot declare any loss. Any carry forward or setup of loss is not allowed for the purpose of section 1112 or 1023C. But even if such setup of loss or carry forward of loss is not allowed, even though there is no loss, no harm, because say for example, during the year you have taken the loan, out of that loan you have spent money. So the trust wants to show it as a loss. But this will not be treated as an application of income during the current year because you have made it out of the loan. So this will be treated as an application of in the subsequent year when the loan is repaid. So there is no detriment, no harm in the current year. But current year loss cannot be shown.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is clause 31(1)(a), donation to individual to be included, sir. Clause, it is also 31 clause.
In the clause 31(1)(a), if donation is given to any individual person, it is to be included. Say, for example, if it is given as a relief to the poor, if it is given as a scholarship to the student, then it will be covered under 31(1)(b).
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is, sir, in case of school or hospital being a charitable purpose, if school fees or patient treatment fees exceeds ₹1 crore, will audit under section 44AB applies?
Carrying out any charitable activity by the school or hospital is not a business. So it is not covered under 44AB of the Act.
Thank you very much, sir. As instructed by the chairman, sir,
Yes,
I am stopping your question for the time being, and we will rejoin with you after the questions to be taken by our another expert panelist, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You have deliberated more than 22 questions, sir. Sir, next I request CA Shri, our expert panelist Shri Bipin Batavia ji to take their questions related to different clauses. As Sanjay ji told in the initial remarks that he is taking most of the clauses related to the section. Sir, the first question related to you, sir, is related to clause 10BB. Form 10BB, basic exemption limit of ₹250,000. Donation received toward corpus fund of 3 lakh is to be added to interest income of 2 lakh or not. In such case, Form 10BB is applicable?
Yes, 10BB will apply because the income definition covers the corpus donations as well. So the total income will be 5 lakhs. It is more than 2.5 lakh. So that 10BB will apply.
Thank you very much, sir.
I will request us go a little faster.
Okay, sir. Sir, next question is, in case of Form 10BB, donation received of ₹3 lakh towards corpus is to be added to interest income of ₹2 lakh for basic exemption, limit of 2.5 lakh.
Same, it's a repeated question.
Okay, sir.
10BB
sir,
will apply.
Sir, next question is, See clause 10 of the 10BB as trust is old and obtaining registration under section 12A, originally then 12AA, and thereafter recently under 12AB in form 10AC, which details to be mentioned what should be the date of commencement originally or anything else, and also suggest clause 3 as well as clause 4.
Yeah. So far as the old trust is concerned, question of commencement of activity is not concerned. So in that clause, no is to be written. So if you write no, then there is no other questions are to be answered.
Thank you, sir. It was related to clause 10.
Only for provisional registration it is required.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, I understand that in case receipts before allowing deduction is less than 2.5 lakh, no need to file audit report 10B or 10BB. A society having 12A and ATG has currently year income less than 2.5 lakh. Can it skip filing audit report whether 12A and ATG registration will get cancelled due to non-filing of audit report?
The audit is applicable only if your income exceeds 2.5 lakhs before giving the exemption under 1023C or 11. Because the section 10 proviso to 1023C and section 12A 1B very clearly says audit will be applicable if your income exceeds minimum basic limit. So here audit is not applicable. So they're not to worry about that. And don't worry, your 12A ATG will not be affected at all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is whether gross receipt or total income is considered in arriving 5 crore limits.
It's a gross receipt.
Okay,
The income
thank you,
word
sir.
is used, but section 224(2) very clearly says the gross receipt is to be considered.
Thank you, sir. Sir, are school bus receipts incidental business? If yes, then separate audit required under section 44AB if receipt more than 1 crore. It is related to clause 18, sir.
Yeah, see, running a school bus by a school, if the bus is only for the students of the school, then it is incidental to the education activities. If it is incidental to the education activities, then proviso to 215 will not apply because that is for GPU, General Public Utility Services. But so far as the audit report is concerned, because it's not a business, it's an educational activity. It is falling under educational activity. So even if the receipts are more than 1 crore, tax audit will not apply. But at the note given to Form 10B, where it says audit report is to be attached along with the audited accounts. So this note will apply wherever 44AB applies. In other cases where the business is running separately, and then if the gross receipts are more than basic limits, and now it is so that will apply, and in that case, tax audit report is to be attached.
Thank you.
But so far
May I
as
add
bus is,
something?
Yes, sir.
Friends, let me tell you two things very clearly. The form requires two types of the disclosures wherein they have desired the auditor to annex report under section 44AB and 3CA, 3CB along with 3CD. The one is this: when the institution is running a business undertaking, there may be case where somebody has incorporated a trust, an old trust, wherein the business undertaking was given as the corpus of the trust, and the income which is arising out of that business undertaking is being used for the purpose of the general public utility or any specific utility. For example, that can be used for education, that can be used for a hospital, etc. Now, in that case, that business undertaking, if it is working and it is permitted, the report under section 44AB is to be attached along with the form 10B or 10BB. The report is in addition to the form 10B clauses which we are giving. The second place where the firm had desired the auditor to attach the separate report is where the trust is doing the business itself, not through an undertaking, but through a business by themselves. At that time also they have to attach. Now the question whether that income which is arising out of that business is taxable or not is not being answered to be by the application of that income is required to be certified differently. So please take care. These two situations only which are there in form 10B and 10BB, wherein you need to attach the report under section 44AB along with 3CA, 3CB as the case may be and 3CD. Yeah, please add something.
Yeah, I fully agree, Agarwal sir. But if 44AB applies, the turnover condition, if it applies, that's it. Next,
Thank you,
please.
sir.
Please continue.
Sir, if trust has FCRA registration but has not received any foreign contribution during the year, but has spent the balance in FCRA account 10B or 10BB, which is applicable?
See, Form 10B says such fund or institution or trust, university, education institution or hospital and other medical has received any foreign contribution during the previous year. So in such case, they have not received a single foreign contribution. So this provision will not apply, 10B will not apply, 10BB will apply, and 10BB is to be issued.
Yes, sir.
Vipin bhai, we would like to clarify here that the foreign contribution has been defined in the rule itself, and that has to be read with 21H of FCRA. Now, in case you have not received, I give you an example. I have received, let us say in 2004, an amount of 10 crore rupees. Now that 10 crore rupees I have kept invested in FDR. Now interest on that FDR is being received by us, and if you go, since you are registered in FCRA, when you will file an FCRA return, this amount of interest is a FCRA amount. So this amount will be FCRA contribution received during the year, even though you have not received direct fund on the FCRA. So please be careful. Then in that case, Form 10B is required to be filed.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, there is another question on this issue. That's why I did not explain to it. And section 2(1) is very clear. Even interest income is also considered foreign contribution. Right, sir?
Thank you, sir. Sir, Form 10B, the next question is related to clause 19. TDS on receipt, serial number 19. We have no trade, commerce, business, income, receipt. We have only interest income from bank FDRs. TDS deducted under 194A. But in drop-down list, the section not displayed. What to do?
194A is not covered in that. So you have not to file any detail. Even 192 is so many other, only 4 sections are covered. If you are falling under those TDS, only those details are to be given. So not to worry about 194A.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, small trusts having gross total income up to rupees 10 lakh should be exempt from filing 10BB if having no ATG, no foreign donation.
It's a good suggestion. I think chairman can take it with the CBDT. Let them amend the act. This is
Sir,
not the
next
present
question is
question.
related to chairman, sir. How to generate UDIN for 10BB for trusts?
I have answered to that.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
From yesterday, it has come.
Okay,
The
sir.
10BB is, you didn't, for 10BB is also incorporated.
Okay,
Immediate
sir.
action by the institute. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is FCRA contribution not received, but FCRA interest received will form 10B. That has been answered, sir, already.
That will answer 10B will apply. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
I kept it pending.
Who is considered as beneficiary owner, sir?
Yeah.
It is related to clause 10, sir.
Yeah. The beneficial owners are settlers, founder, trustee, protector, persons having effective control, and anyone having stake of 25% or more. This is basic. And another is if anyone is holding more than 5% shareholding, that is also covered as a beneficial owner. So these are the people are covered as a beneficial owner.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, next question is FCRA contribution. Sorry, sir. This hasn't come.
Okay.
Please let me know the applicability of section 10B/10BB on entities covered under section 1023C clause 3AB who are not required to register under 12A. Sir, this is the question by the member.
Yes, it is really surprising. Subsection 3 doesn't require any audit report. So 10B, 10BB will not apply at all.
Thank you,
Even
sir.
earlier also it was not covered.
Sir, next
So
question
you
is
need to only file form ITR form 7.
Yes, that is there. Filing of form 7 will be there. And directly claim without any registration or obtaining any approval or audit.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
next question is, if the authorized signatories who is going to sign the form has not done PAN Aadhaar linking, will this affect the form 10B?
Yes, you cannot upload because you need OTP, you need verification. So if authorized person PAN and Aadhaar is not linked, that authorized person cannot upload the forms.
Yes.
So the good suggestion will be you can change the authorized signatory whose PAN and Aadhaar are linked.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is related to clause 25. Interest received on foreign contribution should be reported in clause 25 or under clause 28.
Yeah, it is to be reported at serial.
Sir, आवाज
Because
break
it
हुई
is
है.
to. Beg your pardon?
हाँ जी, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, on 25 it is to be reported, not 28.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. If my income is less than 5 crore, form 10BB to be considered for charitable purpose, right, sir? This is the question.
If the income is less than 5 crore, form 10BB, yes, 10BB is to be filed.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next
Income
is
is between two.
Next
Yes,
is
please.
related to yes, sorry, sir. Next is related to clause 19, sir. Why in form 10B and 10BB, auditor has to report TDS available to assessee 10 wise. It is to be furnished in ITR return by the assessee. Why auditor has to report in their report that TDS is available to assessee?
I agree with the questionnaire because it's a repetition. There are so many such repetition. Even 10BB BD details is also with them. Then why again they are asking in 10B and 10BB? This is also one of the similar area where unnecessary efforts are to be put into double मेहनत करने का. So I think we should suggest to the CBDT that it should be deleted from 10B.
We are already seized of the matter. Wherever the double information is being asked or
Very nice.
2-3 times similar information is being asked and that has not been mapped with form 7, we are bringing to the board's attention those points.
Right, sir.
Sir, next question is, a trust is registered under FCRA. However, seats are less than 2.5 lakh. In questionnaires opinion, audit report in form 10B is not mandatory. Shall he issue audit report only?
See, in such a case, FCRA is one of the conditions for applying whether 10B or 10BB will apply. But the basic question, the audit will be applicable only if the income is more than 2.5. So whether it is in FCRA or general, if it is less than 2.5 lakh, audit itself is not applicable. So question of 10B or 10BB does not arise.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, companies registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act have to maintain their books of accounts on accrual basis. Grant received for multi-years are shown in income only to the extent utilized during the year. Clause related to 27.
Yeah, this is in fact, there is no question. The situation is explained, but it is a matter of multi-year grants. I would like to say something on this issue because standard guidance says where there are multi-year grants are received, and if it is unconditional grants, then the income is to be recognized immediately, means the year in which it is received. And where there are conditional grants, so it is to be recognized the year in which that conditions are met. So that is one situation. Another is whether Section 8 company means mercantile system of accounting is to be followed. In that case, there are two methods. And there is no clarity so far in this matter how to account for such, whether the gross full amount received is to be taken income, and for in the next years it is to be just whatever is spent is to be debited there. Another is you can take it as a balance sheet, and whatever is for the particular year is transferred to income expenditure account, and it is to be recognized year-wise. So, but so far as opinion is, see, if it is for better efficiency and consistency, it is advised that it should be recognized year-wise. And out of that, it can be spent. If there is excess spending, already you will get the other application of income. So there is no loss. Only this recognition is little, because there is no clarity so far.
Thank you, sir.
Rajesh bhai, you want to add anything in this?
Sir, Rajesh ji,
Continue. Yes, continue.
thank you, sir. Sir, next question is related to clause 18. Clause 18, subclause Roman 2E. What if the results are negative?
This is really a very good question. Because the clause wants profit and gains from business. Now, if there is excess spending or there, what is to be done? We tried to fill up the form whether it is accepting minus figure. But what I found is it is not accepting minus figure. So the situation is such, how to write this figure now? I think I have no answer for it, because either you can write nil and go ahead, or keep it empty and go ahead. I think I'll seek opinion of other panelists or Agrawal sir, because there is no system or in the form asking for excess spending or loss.
I think, if I may, if we are making
Sanjay sir, आप ऐड करना चाहेंगे सर इस क्लोज में?
If we are adding notes to the clauses, probably there we can just write it in the notes to the clauses that their amount is negative and it has been in the Word document, and which is an attachment to the 10B.
Yeah, the notes can cover, but the form, there is no option.
There is no option.
Thank
Or
you,
even
sir.
there is no option for, see, I am really surprised. The whole form, if you all agree, there is no option of not applicable. Everywhere, yes or no. So there are certain situations where not applicability is also a good answer. Anyhow, that CBDT and is to be taken care of that. Yeah, please.
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, I think we have already mentioned, trust having income less than taxable amount, whether liable for file 10BB, already answered many times.
Yes, please.
Next question is related to clause 35. Para 35, other income of form 10B, section 11.4 confers right to AO to determine excess business income, how auditor is cast duty to something which is not authorized to do so.
And beg your pardon, which question it is?
90.
Sir, it is 90 question,
Yeah,
question number
yeah,
90,
yeah.
close 35.
Got it, got it. Yeah, see, here I agree with that. 11.4, the assessing officer has a power to recompute the business income, any disallowance or anything, whatever they find, it is their right to say. But what they are asking, we have to fill those details. We have got to think what assessing officer is going to do and why they are asking from us. There are so many things they are asking to us. We have to fill. We have to comply the provisions or we have to comply the form. So general details are there, which is to be given and filled up there, and it is to be filled up. We should file it.
Sir, here, with due permission, one question from my side also. We have to fill the detail only if the income is excessive and unreasonable. Otherwise, we doesn't have to fill any detail, sir.
No, this is not for unreasonableness. This is for a 11.4, confers right of assessing officer. 11.4 means the business is permitted. Means if business undertaking is there, and with that, we are taking net profit and going ahead with our computation and accumulation and all that. But assessing officer has right to make additions or disallow anything. And that unreasonableness is also there. Their institute guidelines, I mean, technical guide also says only unreasonableness is to be reported. That's another separate question is also there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, Vipin bhai, we have also given the little guidelines, whichever is possible within our domain in the technical guide.
Yes, sir.
Sir, next question is,
Check Balwant ji.
trust having gross receipt less than 5 crore, no foreign donation received or any foreign application, which form is applicable for the trust for the financial year 22-23, form 10B or 10BB? I think
10BB.
question many times.
Very simple, 10BB.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, sir, any charitable trust running Bhavan or marriage hall whose receipts after Bhavan expenses are utilized for educational and medical activities will be covered under general public utility as business or it is charitable activity? Close 15, sir.
Yeah. Here you see the running bhavan or marriage hall. It is covered under GPU. So when it is covered under GPU, proviso to 215 may come into play, subject to the conditions, minimum availability or any whether the cost and whether what fees they are charging or what charges they are charging. That's a secondary part. But so far as this is concerned, it will be a business income which will be may fall or may be attracted to 215. Only thing is now you have to see after the ODA judgment, Ahmedabad Development Authority, whether it is cost plus nominal markup, if it is there, or it is less than the cost, then 215 may not apply. And if you are taking any view, whether it is because of judgment or because of any other reason, so you should appropriately give the note for that taking that view and go ahead with filing the form. And one more thing, the income is from that activity. We have not to see the utilization of that income. Whether that utilization of income is for medical or any education activity, because all the trust, whatever income they are earning for any source, it is utilized for the objects of the trust. So all charitable activity. So here it is not to be seen that is no concern while deciding whether it is business or not.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, which trust public society need to file form 10B or BB?
The trust which has got registration under 12A or having approval under 1023C. Second, if their gross income is more than 2.5 lakhs exceed for giving the exemptions. Under 11 or 1023C, those trusts are required to file audit report in 10B and BB or 10BB as the case may be.
Sir, next question is whether Form 10B can be issued by other CA other than CA who has conducted the audit?
Yeah, this is also another question which we get many questions from our group. See, here I tell you, in these new informs, the trustee has to authorize the trust, authorize the CA for submitting the audit report. So their trustee can authorize any other chartered accountant as well. Only thing is that the person who is accepting that authorization has to certify the audit report, whether true and correct, whether true and fair. He has seen all the details and everything. That care is to be taken, and it can be submitted by other chartered accountant or other person who is authorized, then the statutory or other auditor who has audited the accounts.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, can the department insist Form 10B/BB compulsorily for the trust whose gross receipt exceed 2 crore as like in tax audit?
Sir, it is 2 crore is very high. 2.5 lakhs, if you are crossing, that audit is applicable. So where is question of that? The officer is insisting. You are supposed to file, otherwise you will not get exemption. You will fall under 1310.
Sir, next question is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think question has been answered, sir. Sorry, interrupt you. Any addition, sir?
Anybody?
No, sir. Related to previous question, sir. Only.
Exceeds 2 crores. No.
The exceeds 2 crores has no concern.
No concern, sir.
Because see, 10BB compulsory for trust whose gross receipts exceed 2 crore as like in tax audit. So the limit is 2.5 lakhs.
Yes. So
I have already cleared that. So, yes, Rajesh.
1023C, Roman 3AD and 3AE are excluded up to 5 crore. Otherwise, 2.5 lakh is the limit.
Yes, correct. That is in subsection 3. So subsection 3 audit is not applicable at all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, when the charitable institution is not a general public utility, should we report no or not applicable for closed 15?
Yes. If it is not, then you have to report no. Only at 4 places, if you write no, there is no option of NA. It is yes or no. So if it is not there, no. If you see it is falling under general public utility, then yes, and give the other answers to the 4 questions. So if it is no, then you write no. There is no option of NA, not applicable.
Sir,
yes.
Wherever the situation of NA may arise, we are trying to cover in our representation that they should give a tab of NA.
Yes.
I don't know what will happen this year, but certainly it will come in next year.
It should be, because there are so many places NA is required.
True.
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is, Army Public School established under Army Welfare Education Society at various states of India, which is part of a regiment fund. Is audit report Form 10B should be filed?
10B or BB, as the case may be. If the society is having IT registration, if they have got registration and claiming exemption, then audit report is applicable. Though it is out of the regiment fund, and though Welfare Education Society, but that if that society is having registration, then audit is applicable. So whether 10B or BB will depend on the income and other criteria.
Yes. If it is covered under 10 clause 23AA, then it will be out of purview of the 10B. 1023AA is specifically applicable to the regiment fund.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh, by adding that.
Ashwani ji, can we go move to Devin bhai?
Sir, last question इनका ले ले और KVC की तरह 31 question हो जाएंगे पूरे सर के. Sir, question number 31 for for the clause 43 is, sir, special para 43 specific violations, conditions on which 12AB was granted the Form 10AC was issued with different conditions. This was revoked and some standard conditions will apply as per circular number 11 of 2022 dated 3rd June 22. Revised clarification was never issued to audited. If auditors goes by certificate held by audited, there may be dispute with audited. Guidance needs to be issued, sir.
Yeah. I agree with this situation, but the answer is very simple. The question is so long. He has already mentioned that circular 11 of 22. That's 11 of 22 is very important circular. I think every trust who has got registration need to keep in their record for two reasons. Number one, earlier whatever the 10 AC certificates were issued, even for 5 years under the correct process, it was re-registration. In spite of that, provisional registrations were issued. Provisional URN number was granted. And there were conditions which were out of that. Conditions were beyond Act and rules. So the representation were made to CBDT and CBDT came out with a very good circular and have clarified that the provisional is to be treated as a normal registration and the conditions are replaced. It is not revoked. It is replaced by that CBDT and the new conditions will apply. So there is no question of issuing fresh certificate for that purpose. CBDT circular is very clear about this situation. Only thing is that you have to keep with you whenever it is required. You have to require to produce with that. Another is guidance is required. I think there is no guidance required here because auditor circular is there. So you apply that circular. It's very clear. Thank you.
Much,
I think I may come back again.
Yes, sir. We will reconnect again. Now I request our another expert panelist, C.A. Devan Shahji, to please take up their question, sir. The first question is related to clause 41. A charitable trust is having a large number of trustees and the list of specified persons within the meaning of section 13.3 will be very lengthy. Many trustees are reluctant to furnish the details of their relatives. What should an auditor do in such a situation? And whether any qualification or disclaimer is suggested. Moreover, the ITR utility is not assessee friendly and it takes a lot of time in furnishing the particulars of trustee in ITR. Any suggestion?
10B
in this case, 13.3, I think in the guidance note also they have referred to a circular number 143 dated 20th August 1974, which may be used for getting details of the persons covered under 13.3 by the auditor. Now here also, but one more thing to keep in mind is that the guidance that circular was issued in 19, which is almost 40 years back. Subsequent to that, what has happened is that the trust, that is the rule 17AA has come in. As per rule 17AA 1D9, record of specified persons is a mandatory document to be maintained by a trust. Now in that, it is also mandatory that the trustees take the due effort in giving whatever details they can give. Auditor has to rely on the details that is given and based on that fact, they have to compile the details. But please be very careful on what you write as a disclaimer in 13.3 in clause 41. Because if you write that to the extent available or something, then in books of accounts maintained in clause 14, code 17, you have to be very careful and you'll also have to refer to that there. And if because of that books are not complete, then 12A1B1 will be triggered, which would lead you to 13.10, which would make the trust liable for taxation for the year. So it's a very, very important thing. And I think I have lots of queries on this point. So you have to take due care. And I think the other thing that the auditor can insist on is at least communication transpired between the trustee, the trust and the trustees or the donors, and see that if in spite of that, the details are not given, then the auditor can say, okay, we've verified and test check and we've not been able to.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question.
Devan Bhai,
Yes,
we
sir.
have also compiled one issue in relation to this, because
Correct.
rule 17AA has come in the month of August.
August,
And,
correct.
and as such, for this current year, we are writing them that difficulty which may arise in the audit also, or for the purpose of trust also. So we are trying to get some input from the board.
In fact, just to add to in the rule that has come, the notification in which the rule has been incorporated is not even stating that it is retrospective. Because if there was a rule which was to be affected retrospectively, they've written it in those rules. There is a similar rule. I can't correct the name, but here it's only on 10th August. So effectively, this rule becomes applicable effective 10th August. But if you can maintain it from 1st April at least, and maintain the details. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, next question is, a trust of mine is covered under 1023C clause 5. I have been guided to surrender registration under section 12AA and remained under section 1023C clause 5 only to avoid any complication. The trust is covered under section 1023C for the past many years. Please advise, it is a religious charitable trust.
I think he has created a loop in the question itself. He's saying that he was covered under 1023Z5 for the past many years. So I'm assuming that he was also registered in 12A. Now, once the new regime, and there were two regimes, once the two regimes came into play in 2021-22, he had to take an option between A and B. So he must have taken the option of 12AA at that time. At that time, his 1023C lapses. Now, if he wants to go back to 1023C5, he can do that. As per 11.7, you can change your option once. But once you have changed your option, you can never go back to that section. So you will always have to stay in 1023C5, which is a more restricted one, which is a religious trust only. And one more thing to keep in mind is if you are in 1023C5, you do not get the option of accumulating only for 1 year. You get an option only to accumulate for 5 years. Whereas in 11.12, you get the option to accumulate for 1 year also. Only place where it could be of beneficial is if it is an ATG2A4 trust where they want to take some donation, then they can register under ATG for this case if they are a 1023C5 case. Thank you.
Sir, this, I forgot to mention this was related to clause 9. Next question, sir, is related to clause 11. If a trust is charging some fees for organizing activities like yoga, meditation, culture event, etc., whether it will be treated as business activity carried by the trust or activity of general public utility.
Okay, so this is a straight order question, as Vipin Bhai rightly pointed out earlier. Now in 215 charitable purpose, 7 clauses are covered. Medical relief, education, preservation of environment, preservation of monument, yoga, and only what is not covered is if you are a general utility trust, then you have to go to the proviso. Now in this case, if it is carrying out activities of yoga, and he's put a yoga and a comma and then put meditation, but I would like to read it as yoga and meditation as one, so that yoga and meditation would not get covered under the business activity. However, cultural event order will be applicable. You have to look at the 20% condition, and then you have to also see whether the surplus that is created is nominal or substantial. So if you are below 20%, you don't have to worry. That is 20% of your total income. But if you are above 20% and if you have a substantial income, then you will have to look at it and it could be considered as a business activity. And I think for substantial income and nominal income, there is no benchmark given even in the order judgment. But I think reliance can be placed on some judgment in a Kerala High Court. I can't correct the name just now, for which the amount given is around 20. Visvesariya. Good. Visvesariya Technology University. It's a Karnataka High Court, 362 ITR, 1279 Karnataka.
10 to 15.
Yeah. So there they have said that 10 to 15% is reasonable range. If you are in that range, then it is not business. Then you don't have to take it as a business activity. And this has to be analyzed on a year-on-year basis. That is very important. Because of order, everything has to be analyzed on a year-on-year basis. So in 1 year, you could be considering cultural as non-charitable, but the same thing in the next year could be considered as charitable. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is related to clause 14. whether charitable trusts are required to follow cash system of counting or it can follow mercantile system of counting.
Okay. Now, charitable trust means it could be a Section 8 company, and we all are aware that as for a Section 8 company, they have only one option, they can only follow accrual accounting, because this is as per the Company Books of Accounts rule mandatory requirement as per 128 of the Companies Act. And now, even in the institute, now we look at the other trust, which is who are societies and trust and other entities. The institute guidance note recommends that the trust should follow mercantile system of accounting, but it is only a recommendation. But a trust, if they want, they can follow cash system of accounting, and it is at their choice. And if they follow it, then accordingly, it is not an option or not a issue. Yes, sir. Sir, I think your voice is not coming. Jindal, sir, your voice is gone.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. It was muted.
Yeah. No problem, sir.
Sir, next is related to clause 37. Whether old corpus opening balance need to be disclosed in ITR oblique 10B. Second question related to this also. Whether being specific purpose audit, what statement to prepared for from management?
Okay. So second one is a more general question. The first one is whether old corpus opening balance need to be disclosed in ITR. If applied, then you don't need to disclose the same in the ITR. But if it has not been applied, then you have to disclose it. And now with the corpus, as Rajesh Bhai had rightly explained earlier, if your corpus is prior to 1/4/2021, the applicability provisions are different. And if it is post 1/4/21, even if you've applied it and when you replenish it again, you can always refill the corpus and you will be allowed an application of the income. That is the view on the corpus. Second, whether when specific purpose audit, what statement to be prepared. Now, what statement to be prepared is basically you have to get a management representation letter. You have 49 clauses and 28 schedules. Each schedule and each clause could be a unique case for each trust. So depending on the applicability for each clause, you will have to make appropriate notes and make that as an annexure to the audit report, just as we are doing it for a tax audit report. Example, if account pay checks, for account pay checks, we are making a disclaimer that it's not available with the assessee, and hence to the extent available, we verified and noted upon. Regarding cash expenses, capital revenue expenditure, etc. Similarly, here for all the clauses 13(3), donation, whether it is religious, educational, you have to take some reliance and test check. Those notes will have to be prepared.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is related to clause 42. Regarding clause number 42C in form 10B and clause number 29C of form 10BB, whether entire amount of salary paid to specified person to be reported in these clauses or only and only whatever amount which is in excess of reasonable amount to be reported. If only unreasonable amount to be reported, can we give disclaimer that we are unable to assess reasonableness of the salary paid to these persons and click the answer to this clause as no or nil? Please guide.
Okay, now for 42, clause 42 is more like an arm's length transaction reporting requirement. So what you have to do is that whether you have paid or not, whether it's reasonable or not is not important. What has happened is whether the transaction has transpired. This is also there in 17AA1D9 subclause 2 of that, where you have to maintain a record of the specified persons and also the transactions transpired with the specified persons. So all transactions should be there in your record of register that you are maintaining, and those record of register has to be reprinted here in the clause 42. So what happens is, in case you have paid a salary, immaterial or unreasonable, you are supposed to report it. Next, they have asked is only and only whatever is excess of reasonable. Now, I think what you have to also keep in mind is to determine reasonability, you will have to create some benchmark. So let's take an example. You're creating a vice president operations for a trustee. Then you also see what is the post for a vice president finance or a vice president marketing, and see the salary and see the similarity of salary, see the function. And if it is reasonable, you can take some judgment. However, if you think that is not possible, you can always give a disclaimer and carry it out. Then also what you also, I would suggest is for those trustees where payments are being made, it should be minuted and it should be in the minutes and it should be approved by the other trustees. Secondly, can we give disclaimer? We are unable to access reasonableness of the salary. Yes, if you give that disclaimer also, I don't think that should be an issue. But I think you have to apply your mind wherever it is to extent applicable. You can't just give disclaimers. Everything, if it's a disclaimer, then the report will have no validity. Okay. And click on answer, click on no or nil. I think nil is not an option. No is an option, but here it would be a yes and not a no or nil. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is related to clause not mentioned. Do we need to disclose payment proceeds outside India for charitable purpose and welfare in India in Form 10B?
No, I think it's. I think earlier also it's covered somewhere by Vipin Bhai or Rajesh Bhai that if the payment is being made from India, even to a foreign country, it's an application of income for the benefit of India or in India. It is allowed. Example: if you are in a hospital and you are going to buy equipments, 5 crores, 10 crores, MRI machines are all coming in. So those are all paid by foreign currency payments and through imports. Those are also part of that, but they will not be. You don't need to go to CBDT. You need to go to CBDT only if you are, say, carrying out a mission in Africa. You want to help the Africa. Then you have to go to the CBDT to take permission and then get the permission. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, next question is related to corpus schedule. Corpus fund accumulated over the year is rupees 100 and applied for various charitable purposes rupees 80 and balance 20 is in form of FDR as on 31st March 2022. How to fill opening balance in corpus schedule? Is it okay to fill 20 or adjustment can be made for rupees 80 already applied, utilized over the years?
Now here they have said before 31/3/22. Ideally, it should have been before 31/3/21. If it was before 21, then it is of earlier corpus. And because after 21, A1421, whatever corpus is received and applied can be shown as applied. And then whenever you replenish the corpus, you will be allowed as application. Here, I am assuming that it is before 21. Then if that case, even if the replenishment of the corpus, he will not be allowed application. If it was after 21, it would be allowed. Further in schedule corpus, it is clearly given in the column second that opening balance at the beginning of the previous year, corpus not applied till the beginning of the previous year. So it has to be reported. So only rupees 20 that he is referred to has to be reported in this clause.
Sir, next question is related to clause 25. A renewal of registration under FCRA was refused by MHA in December 21 for a trust. Will Form 10B needs to be filled? In that case, total income receipt is only 50 lakh.
I would love to say yes, only not to be filled, but ironically, yes, you will still have to fill up Form 10B because there is nothing like a refusal. Okay, renewal, because it is a renewal of registration and it has been refused. Either there could be so the other option is it's a suspension. There is a cancellation. In all these cases, even if it's a suspension or a cancellation or a refusal, the bank account which was there in FCRA still continues. Now, if you have received any interest in that bank account, it will still continue having the character of FCRA. And because of that, you will still have to continue filing Form 10B. Only way, if you don't want to, is if you go under 14A, surrender the certificate and the board, the MHA authority accept the surrender, because then they can distribute the FCRA to any other trust, which has still not happened till now. So according to me, you will have to fill it up and file 10B only. 10B only will have to be filed.
Sir, next question is related to clause 41. Thousands of donors are there for a trust. Specified persons, donor who contribute more than 50,000 also runs into thousands. Name, PAN, address, amount are available, but PIN code is not available for many donors. Utility is not allowed to fill the details without PIN. Is PIN code a mandatory legal requirement?
What they have said is correct, that utility is not allowing to be filling without the PIN code, and PIN code is a mandatory requirement. I don't want to say it is a mandatory legal requirement, but it is a mandatory requirement. If you go to think of it from a different point of view, if say tomorrow the department wants to issue a 133(6) to all the donors who have given money to the trust in the past and they want a confirmation, then they will be relying on the addresses that have been issued in the Form 10B. And they would like to know, and for any address for post to be submitted, they will require some correspondence, either an email address or it has to be a address, and in the address PIN code is mandatory. So though it is a Herculean task, I can imagine, and it is an issue for many trusts, this will still have to be done. Hopefully the offline utility option is there, which if you are a huge trust with so much donation, you can create a tab and linking and do the needful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, yes, sir.
See,
Yes, sir.
getting PIN code from the Google is very simple. I think they staff such a big trust, they can search and they can find out the PIN code. It's not that difficult.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Sir, next question is related to clause 37. Expenditure from the corpus standing to the credit of the trust or institution as on the end of the financial year immediately preceding the previous year relevant to assessment year for which income is being computed is disallowed. Are there any tax or penal consequences if corpus is used for any expenditure, revenue capital towards the objective of the trust and without violating any other conditions like TDS, etc.?
So expenditure from the corpus has been disallowed. Okay. Now what they are saying is, are there any tax and penal consequences? There are no tax consequences if expenditure, because anyway the expenditure has been disallowed as on the relevant to the year for which income is disallowed. Are there any tax? Now, but penal consequences, yes, because let's say you are in the state of Maharashtra or Gujarat, and if you have a corpus, and if you have applied anything from the corpus, technically you need to go to the charity commissioner and take permission to apply the corpus. If you have not taken the permission, you have violated the provision, and the charity commissioner can call the trustees and ask them to refill the corpus. Further, as Rajesh Bhai had rightly said, when you receive corpus, you are holding that money in a capacity as a trustee of the trust, and you are supposed to fulfill the obligation of the donor. And in case you have used it in another way, it would be a violation and could be an issue. And the donor could go to court and file a case and can ask you to refill the same.
Sir, next question is similar related to 37. Can we skip? There is excess of expenditure over income.
Yeah. Correct.
Sir, next question is related to clause 6. Other address if not known to AO, if not known to AO, what is to be done now? The seat of 50,000 more. What is the period of information to be given?
Now, if
Clause
other
6.
address is not known to AO, but it is still known to you, and you are supposed to be auditing the books, and you are doing everything as true and correct. So whether AO knows or not, if you know, your advice to the client has to be that even though we are late, we should inform the jurisdictional assessing officer, pass the resolution, send the resolution copy along with the letter to the AO, and inform and make appropriate notes in your notes to the 10B also that the books were being maintained. However, the information of the same was submitted to the AO only on the following day. It could not be a qualification, but you can always make a mention of that. That is an emphasis on matter.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next is related
and sorry, he's in this he has also a receipt of 50,000 or more. What is the period of information? Now that is up to the, if you read the provision of 13(3)(c)(b), sorry, it is substantial contribution up to the end of the previous year. So up to the end of the previous year means from the inception of the trust to the current date, which is a very ironical fact, because 50,000 is going to be practically a non-starter. Because if someone is donating only 5,000 every year for the last 15 years, even covered, and to get a compilation of so many people might be a Herculean task. But to that extent, wherever possible, you use the benefit of 17AA coming in only on 1422 and get the details.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I want to add about the intimation to the assessing officer. I think before the 17AA came into notification was issued, there are many trusts where having other places also where so many places are maintaining books of accounts. I think it is practically advisable. It is my personal opinion. That trust can pass a resolution, and wording should be that it is continue to be maintained at this address. Instead of not the new address, it is continued to be maintained at this place, and that intimation can be given now also. And the sign that intimation is to be signed by a person who is authorized to file the return. So I think, yes, please.
Sir, actually, there are three associated problems with this issue.
Yes.
One is this, that in case now the faceless is there, how to track the detail of the AO where he is. Now, jurisdictional AO, we can get it from my login. And jurisdictional AO, we have to go to either, if we are going physically, to ask. That is the only now communication link between assessee and the department. So we have to file that in ask if we are filing a physical. If you are sending through an email, then you have to look out whether you have received a correct email ID or not, because that email ID is another task which you are not having. So in order to clarify this, we are trying and we are suggesting the board that please put a tab in the e-filing portal itself, wherein the assessee can furnish those information which are relating to this particular address problem or maintenance. So this is what from the issue we are trying to cover.
Very good, good suggestion.
Yeah.
Another good suggestion.
Yes, sir. Ashwinji.
Sir, next question is related to clause 42. How to determine reasonable amount paid towards salaries, rent? Should we have working paper for the determination of reasonable amount?
Yes.
Yes, I think salaries, as I explained earlier, you can do as what I had said earlier. And now for rent, you can look at the stamp duty, reckoner value, rateable value. And if it's a very huge property and a huge amount of rent is involved to a 13.2%, you can also go and get a government approved valuer's valuation certificate and keep it as a document. And you can use the benefit of essays of relying on the work of another professional and keep that as your supporting document.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is
17 AA.
Next question is also related to scheduled corpus. If corpus fund has been utilized for its purpose, can we move the corpus fund to utilized fund like for ex corpus?
Example, it's an
purchase
example
of property for the trust, and trust has purchased the property. In this case, fixed asset corpus fund to fixed asset utilized fund.
I think what they want to say is that if I have used some money out of the corpus, if I want to keep it separately compared to what is there in the FD, yes, you can do that. But you remember one thing, under the group of corpus, you cannot say this is now not a corpus fund, but a normal fund. Because whenever you will sell the asset, again, you have to go back to the corpus and you reinvest accordingly. So it has to be in the group corpus, and within corpus, you can create 2-3 subgroups and classify it accordingly.
Sir, with due permission, can I skip question number related to clause 41, because already we have mentioned.
Yeah. Please, sir, whatever you want, no problem.
Sir, clause number 13, it is related to that. What is the date of commencement of activity for the trust? Whether it is the date of receipt of first donation or date of first time application of income?
I think commencement of activity is when you are actually spending the first amount of money, because even in your provisional registration, once you have commenced, once you have made some application of income within 6 months or within the end of the time when the provisional is lapsing, you are supposed to apply for your final registration. So it is the payment, and the ethos of charitable trust is expenditure and not income. So because of that, the commencement of activity would be the day when the first expenditure is incurred.
Application.
Sir, next question is related to ITR. A charitable trust started work in July this year and its total receipt is likely to be below 2.5 lakh. Is it required to file ITR? This has also
Yes, it would be, because 10B and 10BB is not applicable, but 12A 1B is applicable, and a trust is required to file their ITR. If they do not file the ITR, it would be a 1310 violation and they would lose the 12A for the year and their income would be taxable.
सर ये एक मेंबर का क्वेश्चन है. इट इज रिलेटेड टू प्लीज गाइड अस एज ऑन ए मॉडल रिप्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम मैनेजमेंट MR related in respect of specified person. I think refer to technical guide. Sir, next question is related to clause 9. A trust running school is registered under section 12A and a provisional registration has been given up to 23/4. My first query, as the trust was previously registered and has now been granted provisional registration, needs to apply afresh in form 10A before 30th September. Secondly, can it opt for 1023C clause for claiming deduction and how?
Yeah. Now what happens is he's trying to refer to the circular number which was there on 24th May, circular number 6 of 24th May, where if you are a trust and you have not filed your application in time, or if you've missed out under subclause 1 of 12A1 AC 1 or 3, then you could have taken the benefit of that circular. But in this case, he has taken a provisional registration up to, and the trust has been registered to apply before 30th. So the 30th September time has already lapsed. So it could have done it. If he has done it, fine. If it is not, then no option. Secondly, can it opt for 23C clause for claiming deduction and how? Now, if they want to go for 23C, again, same 11.7, you can either opt for A or B. Then you'll have to surrender your registration under this and go for 1023C. But once you've done that, you cannot go back to this provision.
Sir, next question is related to clause 37. Clause 37C of 10B. How we can specifically identify that this particular application is made out of the past accumulation? Unless we do so, it cannot be split into electronic and non-electronic mode of payment.
No, I think something is wrong here, because what happens is if you have, let's say, an income of 2 crores and you spend 3.5 crores, then the 2 crores that you spent will come in clause 31. Okay, because it's against the income. And the balance 1.5 crores, let's say you had 11.1 of 50 lakhs and 11.2 also of 50 lakhs. Then it will come in A and B. Whatever is left after that would ideally be under C, unless you've used it out of your corpus or loans and borrowings. That is the order in which you have to see the money. And if it is an 11.2, again, it's a specific purpose. So if you have already given the specific purpose, it will go under B. Otherwise, it will come under C.
And guidance from the chairman, sir. Should I continue?
एक दो ले लो.
Yeah. एक दो ले लो बाद में कर.
उनका फोन
ठीक है
पूरा
सर.
हो जाए.
Continue, please continue.
ठीक है सर.
10 minutes at least.
Filling form 10B with clause 14 with 49 clause and 29 schedule means all the audit assignment accomplished. ITR 7 could be easily filled up within 1 or 2 days. Then why 1 month lapse allowed? This is a
I don't know. I don't know who has given this query. I think, see, what he is trying to say, I think there is a hidden meaning in it, that the 10B and ITR is practically a mirror image. And in fact, in our office, we had done one parallel study. There are 48 clauses of 10B which are directly touching the ITR. So whatever is here will get reflected in your ITR. And the reason for this is, as Rajesh Bhai rightly pointed out to me, is that the finance minister in her speech had said that they will be starting to give pre-filled ITRs to everyone. And all you have to do is you have to check your ITR, and once, if it is yes or no, so the issues of 143, 1A, 154s will be reduced. So this time gap of 1 year, 1 month is to be enabling them to be able to do the preparing of the ITR prefill and then file it. So I think the 1 month gap is a good gap.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next question is whether the auditee, being a trust or institution referred to in section 11 or 12, has adopted or undertaken modification of the objective which do not confer to the conditions of registration. Question: the trust engaged in utilization of income for other than objective as per trust deed, like engaged in COVID-related activities which are not in trust deed, whether we should qualify our report point number 12 of 10B, close to 12.
Yes, okay. Now what happens is, in this case, if there is a modification of the object, only you have to go to clause number 12. If you have not modified your object, you don't need to go to 12. First of all, you don't need to go to 12 if you have not modified your object. Only if you have spent against the object or again, then you don't have to go to 12, but there is a provision in 31 where you have to inform that you spent otherwise than object. Now here I would still like to add on this query about COVID related activities. If you are a trust which has not got the COVID related expenditures, because COVID could be a medical expenditure, could be a relief of poor expenditure or a natural calamity expenditure. Ironically, there is no circular which I can find from the income tax department related to this for charitable trust. For CSR, they have come out with a circular, but they have not come out with any such circular. But I personally think that if you have done some COVID related expenditure, the department will look at it in a very lighter way. And I don't think it should be so much an issue. You can make a note accordingly and report it.
Sir, next question is related to clause 41. Limit of 50,000 for specified person has to be calculated for from which year?
From the start of the trust up to the date. That's already covered earlier.
Sir, clause
Limit of
9.
50,000. Yeah, we've already covered that earlier. That there is no, it's up to the end of the previous year. If every year 5,000 also 12 years 5,000 given, it's out. Yeah. Next.
The limit of 50,000 was earlier 5,000, then it made to 10,000, then it made to 25,000, and in 1995 it was made 50,000.
Sir, don't worry.
So since 1995 it is 50,000.
They should make it 50 lakhs now. Ideally, that's the correct number now.
Sir, it is related to clause 9. Next question. In point number 9, what date will be shown as effective date? Registration obtained in 19th September 21 and effective for the assessment year 22-23. Do we have to mention 1st April 22 or 1st April 21?
You have to mention the previous year date, which is 1/4/21, and not assessment year 1/4/22. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, next is related to clause 42. Whether any payment to managing trustee for the professional services rendered in regard to the grant regard to the grant agreement is also covered in addition to the income of the trust.
Now, even if you have made any payment to the trustee, even through a grant and as per the grant agreement, it would still be a reporting requirement under 13(3). So 42, you would have to report it. Now, and the second part is also covered in the addition to the income of the trust. There is no addition to the income of the trust. It is whether it's reasonable or not. Only if it is unreasonable, then 13(1)(c) will be triggered, and 13(1)(c) will make it a 115 BBI item and 30% tax would be applicable. But it does not mean that if you have paid, it is an addition to the income. No, only if it is unreasonable, it is an income. Thank you.
Next is also related to clause 41. Is the board of directors who are paid employee if the company under section 8 covered in the definition of section 13(3)?
Yes, yes, they are all. Section 8 companies, directors are in the character, they take the character of a trustee and
director separately they are asking.
They are asking anyways. Yeah. Yes, sir. Next.
Sir, next question is related to clause 41. If an auditor has given a donation of 60,000 to a trust, he becomes a substantial contributor to the trust. Can he still be the auditor of the trust? Does the answer change if the contribution was made by a relative of the auditor or a partner of the auditor?
Yes, if he is the auditor of the trust and he has donated, then he will not be the auditor because this is as per 288 to explanation B, where in the case where they have said that an accountant does not include in the case of an assessee being a trust or institution, any person referred to in A, B, C, CC of subsection 3. However, it is not covering D and E, which is the relative and the substantial any concern in which they have a substantial stake. So the relative for the so in this case, if a relative of the auditor or a partner of an auditor has given, then the auditor is not covered. But if the auditor himself has given, then he will be covered and he cannot be an auditor of the trust.
Devin bhai, kindly go through the explanation B, which you have referred as 3, as 2, A, B, C, CC of 3 of 13. But if you refer to 4, any relative of the person referred in 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Relative is also covered. Relative of the
Relative
person.
is also covered.
Correct. I stand correct. A relative is also covered. Sorry. Yes. Thank
No,
you.
no, no.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, next question is related to clause 11. Sir, in case of society is registered in FCRA and the objective of the society does not describe specified the provision regarding FCRA, what should be shown? Objective clause of 10B, please explain.
No, I think they are trying to say that if I have whether in my object clause whether I can take FCRA money or not. And that is not a condition for getting a trust deed registration or an object. What you have to show in your object clause is what are your objects and not necessarily whether it is come from FCRA money or local money. So if you are an educational or a medical trust, you are supposed to show that as the clause. In fact, in FCRA, in our object clause there are 8 clauses with is religious and the 215(7) clauses, but in FCRA there are 5 different ones. They are social, religious, cultural, educational, and I think the 5th one I forgot, but these are the 4 clauses. So they don't even have they don't match. But what is important is that is not important. If you have the object as per the deed is what you have to take in.
Sir, next question is, sir, in clause 41, even there is no contribution during the year from specified person, is it has to be mentioned?
Yes, has to be mentioned. Next.
Sir, next question is related to again 41 clause. If a trust collect membership fees of 60,000 per annum from member, will it be treated as substantial contribution received from a member as it exceeds the specified amount of 50,000?
I think what has to be read as for substantial contribution is something which is a voluntarily amount which is given. If it is not voluntarily given, it is not a substantial contribution. So let's take an example. Suppose I am a member of the institute and every year we are paying membership fees of 5,000 or 10,000, etc. Over a period of 7-10 years, I've crossed 50,000. I'm not a substantial contribution because there is a quid pro quo. Once there is a quid pro quo, then you don't have to look at it. And then only if it's a of a donation, then only it will be coming in, or in the form of a contribution which is voluntary, it will come in. Otherwise, in this case, let's say even in a hospital, everyone has a bill of more than 50,000. Then they all will become substantial contributors. Yeah? So not needed. It's not a this thing. He is not a 13.3%.
Sir, next question is also similar to that. Whether corpus donation or donation for specific purpose received during the assessment date 23-24 above 50,000 shall be reported in ITR 7.
Yes. Yes, it has to be.
Sir, next question is related to clause 13. Already registered trust applied in 10A and granted provisional registration, whether it should be surrendered and form 10AB only filled.
No, this one I didn't understand because this was till September 30th only. That he wants to swap over from the if he is already in 10A, he doesn't have to go to the 10AB, na? So I don't.
13 is for provisional.
Correct. It is for commencement activities, not relevant.
The next question is also related to 41 clause. Only question is only members of governing council can be mentioned.
No, as we discussed earlier, 17AA1. So you mentioned with your due risk and reward.
Sir, next question is related to clause 42. How do we clarify? How do we certify if the payment like salaries are reasonable in the audit report? This need to be reported only if it is reasonable. This has been answered, sir.
We have covered, sir. We have covered this.
Yeah. In case of specific person, whether name of representative and spouse is to given, this has been covered, sir.
Yes, covered.
Clause 13. In schedule of corpus, how to show opening? Yeah, this has also been covered.
The same question, sir. It is covered.
Clause 13. Whether date of construction started will be taken as date of commencement. This has been answered.
Yes.
Sir, 13 clause related, sir. Which are all trust and had charitable activity, but was not registered under 12A earlier in old law. Can they apply now under provisional or after 110(23) under any other clause?
They can apply under any other clause under 1423, but with effect from 110, the commencement of activity clauses come in. So you don't get provisional, but you'll get a straight registration for 5 years.
Sir, next is registration for new formed trust in 22-23 was made in June. So get 10 AC provisional registration 23-24. So for 22-23, assumption is not available. So can we reapply for 22-23?
No, I think this question was given earlier in September when that the 30th September date was available for trust because of the circular of May 23. But that date is over, and anyway, it is not applicable to this because that circular was only for subclause 1 and 3 of 12A1 AC, and this provisional registration is under 6, so it will not be available to this.
The next question is already
I
answered.
would like to add here that the same is also having a trouble in 80G because I have to apply within a certain period of the commencement, 1 month
Correct.
or so. But
6.
if that has lapsed, so there is no coverage in the circular. So we are trying to cover that also. So Ashwani ji, that what I am seeing to this, that still we have at least 30-35% of the queries which are left, which we have compiled from the last webinar till yesterday what we have received. Now, looking to the interest and to attention of my vice chairman, that as on right now, even at 7:15, we have more than 6,500 members continuously logged in. And approximately 500 and odd queries have been shooted once again. Presuming that out of that, hundreds may be overlapped and around 70 to 80 have already been replied by us. I am left with once again the corpus which I have to utilize and reinvest again with the 400 queries and more, and 100 approximately 70 or 75 overlap, which makes a more than 500 of the corpus which with me. Now the thing is this corpus is from after 1/4/21, so I need to utilize and reinvest again. So with this, I have already discussed with my vice chairman, and I am taking the liberty from all my experts and moderator that I need to have at least one program which we will try to do it in next week if you people permits. So next week somewhere we are going to organize. 9th and 10th we have a council meeting, so certainly we cannot have on those 2 days. And 11th is also because the council meeting have been, my president has already told me that on 10th it will go till at least 10:30 in the night. So the council member have been asked not to book any ticket. So the 11th will be difficult for the office also. So I am right now saying 12th if it is suitable to everyone. We'll try to cover this now this 2 hour, the rest of the queries and what we will get here. Meanwhile, what I request to the expert, those who have taken their query, if they could make the answer of those queries so that what we can do by 15th or 16th of this month, we may issue a small technical FAQs if it is possible.
Okay.
So I am making the life of my panelists and the expert more difficult. I know it. So this is something what is my, as a chairman, my view. And if you support it, please express your desire to continue with us. And anything else if you wish to add. Otherwise, I will hand over the proceeding to moderator and then to my vice chairman. Yeah, Vipin bhai.
I think out on 12th, because there is another program we are attending, myself and Piyush on 13th. So I think if it is capped on Saturday 15th, Saturday we
will try. You see, sir.
14, sir.
The problem is this.
14, yeah.
Yeah, I am telling you the problem is this, that the member have to do the audit also. So if we are going to issue FAQ, we may issue FAQ part 1, part 2, that we may also plan this. So dates we will sit together, and I will request Vice Chairman to coordinate in such a manner. If you are even out, we'll put some hour which may not be the evening, we can fix up some other hour also. So let us discuss off the line those issues. But otherwise, I think we need to justify that members are in a position to do their duties well. Let me once again reiterate that from the issued side, I'm not going to say that please dispense with this form 10B and 10BB at all. Whether our members are in a position to do it or not, because this is something, an opportunity for us, and I'm requesting all of those who are attending or those who are not attending to convey to them that please fill up these forms to the extent it is possible to you, and please shoot up your queries at dtc@ici.in. If you have not yet given any query, this is the mail ID, Muktaji, dtc@ici.in, so that we may add. And if it is not possible to explain orally the way we are doing it right now, because what we have found, when we sit 4 or 5 people, there are bound to have difference of opinions. So that is also good, because if the answers are given in isolation, the members may not take that much cognizance of that. And particularly this particular webinar, along with the old webinar, will also be available for our DLH portal, on our DLH portal. So those who have not seen, or those who have seen but they want to listen it again, and they want to make sure that they are not doing anything which is not discharging their duties well. And by the time on 10th, you will be in your hand in the form of the soft copy of this particular technical guide. Please make it, mark in your diary to receive it. If you are not receiving it, then please let us know that you have not received. And also I request from all those people, those who are having different groups in the WhatsApp or otherwise, if they are receiving this publication, please circulate among your groups also, so that it goes to the larger and the last to last of the member for the use in discharging their duties. So these are the few words which I would like to say right now. And I wanted to say that never in the past I have seen, though the number may would have exceeded 6,500, but continuously getting the question after every half a second, we are getting one question or more. So that is the meaning that this webinar, the members are listening very carefully. So with this, it is back to the moderator for the rest of the proceedings.
Thank you very much, sir. To conclude,
It shows complexity.
As directed by you, first of all, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our esteemed panelists, CA Devan Shah ji, CA Bipin Batavia ji, and CA Rajesh Mehta ji, for their in-depth coverage of the majority of the questions related to clauses in the Form 10B, as highlighted by the esteemed chairman of the Direct Tax Committee during his opening remarks, as well as just now. Although time constraint prevents us from addressing all the questions clause by clause, we remained committed to ensure a thorough understanding of those that remains. We are currently strategizing and planning future webinar to cover the pending questions, with a final decision to be made by the chairman and the committee. As we draw this informative session to a close, I would like to invite CA Piyush S. Chhajarji, Vice Chairman of the Direct Tax Committee, to share his closing thoughts.
Thank you very much, Ashwani ji. Of course, I am also speechless. A great effort by the panelists, Sanjay bhai, Agarwal ji, Rajesh ji, Deven ji, Vipin ji, a great initiative. There were total 6,500 people who were watching you live, and I know there are still many questions which remain resolved. And when the discussion was going on, Chairman sir just pinged me, Piyush bhai, ये तो पूरा होने नहीं वाला है, इसके लिए एक और दिन मांगना पड़ेगा. And we have taken the liberty from the panelists to take your time from your busy time, and it's really, I am sure the members will appreciate it a lot. They are appreciating it a lot because the subject is difficult, and as Chairman sir says that we are not going to ask. We have worked hard on it. When the technical guidance comes, you will see how hardworking it has been done, and I'm sure it will help the members. It will guide the members for a long time to period. And even after technical guide, believe me, DTC, the chairman has been discussing that we want to convert this technical guide into a guidance note also over a period of time. So our efforts will continue to address the members' queries, to help the members to discharge their assurance functions. That's the most important thing. Obviously, the question still continues. We'll discuss with the panelists for the next session and discuss offline. And all the members, thank you very much for your participants, continuous participants, which actually motivates the panelists also. And they are therefore always available because your large numbers really motivates a panelist. If the large numbers are not there, large questions, a huge number of theories are not there, obviously no panelist would like to it. But this also speaks about the quality of the answers which are being given by the panelists. That's why the people are so attached to the screen. And you believe me, sir, even the people who have not been able to attend it, I am receiving messages also. Ye lecture available hoga ke nahi? And I have responded to them that yes, it will be available at DLX portal. So if somebody has not been able to join live, so those people who are outside 6,500 who were available live would be also looking into this video lectures, and they will be also benefit. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashwani ji, for continuous moderation. बाकी सबको तो शायद 15 मिनट ब्रेक मिल जाती है in between when you are asking questions, but Ashwani ji, you have been continuously speaking 2 hours. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Just to add
Thank
one
you.
thing, Vice Chairman, only one thing we would like to add, that after discussion with the office, the committee office has suggested me that we will be sending a mail which will contain both the link of the earlier webinar and this webinar in the inbox of the members itself, instead of they are visiting to the our DLH portal.
Very
So
good, very good.
please go to your mail. It will be sent to on Monday itself. Monday can we send? Monday possible? Tuesday. Tuesday you will receive the mail. Kindly check your inbox also and the spam also if you have not received. So with this, thank you very much and goodbye, good night, Shabba Khair, good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone.